Hey guys, it's your girl the Sassy Engineer. If you are new to this channel, you're welcome. Click the subscribe button to join the community, and please like this video by clicking the thumbs up button as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Hey, what's up? I'm planning to travel to New Zealand. What is the best route to use to travel to New Zealand? Do I need a transit visa to travel to New Zealand? That's actually a good question. Do you know of any route that I can use that will not require a transit visa? I hear you. The best route to travel to New Zealand will depend on a number of factors. So come on in, have a seat. Let me take you through these factors. This topic is a hot topic, and I can understand because New Zealand is so far away. So you need to know the best route you can use. Whatever information you find in this video can also apply to a different destination of your choice. It doesn't have to be New Zealand, but I'm using New Zealand as a case study. So what are the best routes to traveling to New Zealand? And like I said, it depends on a number of factors. The first factor is where you are traveling from. So where are you traveling from? The second factor is your citizenship. What country is your passport from? These two are very critical and will affect the decision on what route to use. Then another important factor is how much money do you have to pay for the flight? Do you have enough money to pay for the flight? Now, these three factors combine to determine whether you are going to choose the cheapest route, which may also be the best or fastest route, or you are going to choose the best route, which might not be the cheapest route. Your citizenship will determine if you require a transit visa or not. If you're watching this video and you find out that you don't require a transit visa, congratulations, you're one of the elites. But many people who migrate require visa or may require a transit visa. Now, there are many countries in the world, and I cannot address all of them. So for the purpose of this video, I'll only be addressing flights mainly from Africa because I am African, and I have traveled from Africa to New Zealand a lot. And by the way, Africa is not a country. Please, please, and please. Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent, and a continent contains many countries. Okay? So if you used to think Africa is a country, delete it. Install Africa is a continent. But I digress. Let's come back to flights. Flights to New Zealand or Africa will usually go through Middle East or Asia before coming to New Zealand. And that's because they are closer, and many of the flights that come to New Zealand come from those regions. If you are traveling from an African country, you're going to have at least one stop, either in another African country or in Asia or in Middle East, and in some cases in Europe. I'm going to be using Nigeria for this discussion. So there are three major routes that you can travel from Nigeria to New Zealand. The first route is traveling from Nigeria to Middle East and then to New Zealand. Otherwise, you can travel from Nigeria to another African country. From there, you can either go to Asia or you go to Australia before coming to New Zealand. Then you have Nigeria to Middle East, to Australia, and then to New Zealand. There's another route which will go through Europe, UK to be precise, but I think that is longer, so I'm not going to talk about that. But if you are going to go through that route, best believe that you are going to need a transit visa to pass through UK if you are not exempt. The common routes are the ones that I have highlighted and the ones I'm going to talk about. So let's take A. Traveling through the Middle East, you most likely go through Qatar or UAE. So that is, you're going to be using Qatar Airways or Emirates. Citizens of South Africa can enter Qatar. They have visa on arrival, especially if you have long-haul flight. So if you want to explore Doha, you can take the long-haul flight option and then go in and explore Doha. It's fun. I've not been, but I've seen people who have. There are also many Africans in the Doha airport. Once you arrive like this, it looks like you're in another African country. You shouldn't pursue them because of this. But yeah, there are so many Africans at the airport, so do not be surprised. You may even see your relative. The second route to see you traveling from Nigeria to another African country. And this another African country is Ethiopia. So you'll be traveling from Lagos to Addis Ababa. From there, you go to an Asian country. It can be Singapore, Thailand, Hong Kong, China, Malaysia. I like Singapore. I prefer Singapore because they are nicer. Thailand is also nicer. Malaysia, they are also nice. But you see those other Asian countries, there's a high chance that you get stereotyped. I've heard of stories, not nice, but people still travel through them. And you can probably go through Turkey. Turkey is another one, but I think that Turkey route is the one that will take you through Europe and Nigeria. So yeah, the common one for now, however, is Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Hong Kong, China. Yeah, from my experience, flights through Asia are cheaper, but they are longer. They are long, child. They are long. Flights to the Middle East are faster, but they are usually more expensive. In the meantime, it's just Qatar that is flying Nigeria. Emirates is not flying Nigeria again because Emirates and Nigeria are fighting. Dubai and Nigeria are too fighting. So Nigeria is owing the money. So they say, until you pay me my money, I ain't coming to your country. And they're not flying. So the only one that is flying now is Qatar. Qatar used to come directly to New Zealand before, from Doha straight to New Zealand. But for some reason, I noticed that since this after COVID thing, they are now going through Australia. They have a few flights that come to New Zealand. They have some flights that will go through Asia and then come to New Zealand. But right now, the ones that I'm seeing that are the fastest have to go through Australia and have what they call a technical stop. I have a shot on my channel that I've addressed that technical stop if you require a visa. Now, you can mix and match these routes, okay? It doesn't have to be one straight route. Know that it's not a one size fits all, so you can mix and match. If you're working with a travel agent, they're very good at mixing and matching. They'll find the best route for you to avoid transit visa. The next screen you're going to see is going to be a list of the common countries which your flight will go through and whether you would need a transit visa or not. I hope you have familiarized yourself with this route. If you haven't, you can go back and check. It's a video, so you can always rewind, pause, look at it, and fast forward. Abby, continue. I did my research, okay? I did a lot of research. So please like this video by clicking the thumbs up button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So like I said, these routes can be mixed and matched. They can be zigzag. But you should know that when you are mixing and matching to score a cheap flight, there are some things that you should note. The first thing is that there is a chance that you may have to go into the country, pass through border security, retrieve your bags, then go back and check in, pass through security before you board your flight. And what happens in this case is that you may have to get a visa for a country that you probably wouldn't have needed a visa if you had just stayed in the transit terminal. And you could say, I will not, I'll just go straight and board the flight. But the thing is, when you go to board the flight, you don't have a ticket, first of all, to board that flight because you needed to have gone through the security, go and check in and get your boarding pass. So you would miss your flight. You get stranded. So when you are trying to get a cheap flight, check the conditions very well, that you don't have to go through security, get your bags and check in again, that you only have to wait in the transit terminal. The second thing to note has to do with the baggage limit. When you mix and match flights, especially when you are not booking, especially when you book on different tickets, there is a high chance that you are going to book two flights that have two different baggage limits. So check it completely. So what that means is that you may have one airline would say, you can bring your 23 kg. The other airline will say, I beg you, it's only 30 kg I'm taking. So in this case, the airline with the lowest baggage limit is what you are going to be allocated. So if you booked, let's say Qatar Airways, that will give you 223 kg from Africa, and somewhere along the line you are changed to another airline, that airline allows only 30 kg. your baggage allowance for the whole flight would be that 30 kg. And they do it because they don't want you to be stranded when you now take from your origin, and then in your transit point you found out that you have to go and remove things. So they, to try and avoid all those buhaha, they'll just give you the lowest baggage limit. So note that. Still about bags, some people don't know this, so that's why I need to put this in here. If you booked your flight to New Zealand from your country of origin, in this case Nigeria, to New Zealand on one ticket, you are not going to see your bags until you arrive New Zealand. Okay? If you booked it on separate tickets, so let's say Nigeria to Qatar, one ticket, but Qatar to Australia, another ticket you pay, Australia to New Zealand. In each of these cases, you would have to go through security, collect your bag, check in again, and board the flight. So you will need visa for these countries if your country is not exempt. So always try as much as you can to book your flight on one ticket. Number 3, not every travel agent will know if you require a transit visa. I know this sounds like but it's your job, they're supposed to know. Well, when I think about it, they don't really need to have it in the back of their head, but it will be good if you call and they are able to provide you with this information immediately on the spot. However, I feel like they don't really need to have it. The company should have a database that when you ask this question, you just go check, okay, yes or no, you need a transit visa. It will be nice if the travel agents can, tell you on the spot, oh, you need a transit visa, or you don't need a transit visa. Some of them don't know. Some of them don't even want to learn it. Some are just there for the money. Consign them. Maybe you are the one that is traveling. You should know now. What's your business? You just take your money and go. It is sad. It is bad. But it happens. Okay? So, I feel like any travel agent company that is serious with their business, after a while, should have like a database or have links to this country so that when a customer is asking this question, they can just yes or no. But that's just my own opinion. And another reason, I guess, is immigration law changes. Okay, immigration law changes. So what applied like 3 months ago, there's a high possibility that it would not apply 3 months later. So that could be another reason why some people don't even bother to know. Because they're like, I beg, this country too, they change laws. Waiting concern me. Anyway, so always do your research. I've had people that told me that agent told them they don't need transit visa. Even argue with me, say, I said, why am I even arguing with this person? I'm not your agent now. I'm not the one you paid money to. I'm even telling you based on, say, I don't travel this thing before. I know 1 or 2 people who don't travel. So, information where I know. So, I just let them go. Some of them come back and say, you're right. So, some of them don't come back. Some of them still carry coconut head and travel and get stranded. On the day, they'll tell him, you need transit visa. Where they go? Where your transit visa? And then they'll have to spend extra money to reschedule their flights. So, yeah, don't be too dependent on travel agents. Know how to research these informations. So, just a recap, because I don't talk plenty. The best route to come to New Zealand will depend on where you are traveling from. So, the flight options that you have from that country, your citizenship, that is the passport that your country is from, and how much that you have to pay for your flight. I hope you found this video useful. I know I would if I was in your shoes. So please, if you haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button to subscribe, click the bell button to turn on notification, and please like my videos by clicking the thumbs up button. It will help YouTube recommend it to people who will need this information, and I know a lot of people need this information. Okay, Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.